What is up? My name is Garrett at Yogurt on Twitter, YOOGRRTT. Thank you so much for tuning into the Now in Rotation YouTube channel. Welcome back to another, we're just going to have a conversation about some new music. New people are hitting the scene, and it kind of all just comes back to me waking up the other day and just logging onto Twitter and following Sexual Jumanji at Sexual Jumanji. Be sure to follow him because he's been one of my favorite Twitter follows for the past few years. But out of nowhere, he's quoting this Pigeons and Planes tweet, and it just says, "Meet Laundry Day at Dondry Lay, the unconventional New York City band inspired by Brockhampton and Tyler, the Creator." And without the fucking picture, it's already kind of like the most cringy thing for what's going on in that kind of lane. Like, I feel like you have the Rex Orange Counties, you have, Tyler, you have All of Odd Future, you have Brockhampton in the mix, and then you look at the picture of these fools, and then you're like, of course, yeah, that's the missing link as far as the fucking circus that goes and travels. Like, yeah, that's the image that you're missing. And also, this is a perfect image of, like, some fucking scientist just test tubed the fuck out of, like, the perfect algorithm that is computed from, like, Frank Ocean, fucking Tyler, the Creator, and Brockhampton's fan base. Just, they took all the kids' search engine history and just fucking compiled it into a machine that created these 5 individuals. But no, yeah, so this kind of hit me out of surprise. And then, of course, you look at them and you're just like, okay, yeah, makes sense. This fool doesn't have fucking shoes on. Homeboy, it looks like he's not in the right area. He doesn't also look like he's in the right area. This fool looks like he's too cool for school, and I just don't know what he's doing. I just don't. But regardless, Sexual Jumanji on Twitter, SexJ if you will, he starts going in on these guys. He says, how did these guys get an article for their high school band project? So when I read high school band project, I was interested. I was like, hey, what do you mean? Like, is this like they met in high school and their teacher was like, you 5 are in a band now and that is your final. Go finish. And it just ended up being like a masterful work of art? Or like, are these kids like prodigies? How does that work exactly? And, then he follows up. He went in. Sexy said, I need to know who these parents are so bad. Who's funding this garbage? Literally, they're quoted saying, we're such big fans of Tyler and Brockhampton and saw what they were doing. From the very beginning, we wanted to start something really big and something where we cared about every part of it, says Sawyer Nudes. But it was never like we just play a little show and see what happens. From the first day, it was like, let's design the websites and the t-shirts and the vision. We had one vision in mind from day one. I can't read, but I can decipher the fact that this shit is literally like they watched the Brockhampton documentary and we were like, hey, it would be a good idea to do this. He also starts going off and says, I love when my group of high schoolers casually works with Rick Rubin. Because part of the article says, part of that fun was recording most of the latest album, Homesick, in bedrooms across the city, then adding some finishing touches at Rick Rubin's Shangri-La Studios. Just another Thursday. Just, hey boys, we're going to go finish that album on the 13th, right? Yeah. All right. Is Rick Rubin know about it? Because we're going to his fucking pad, and we're going to finish this bitch. It's been on the calendar. His people know. Our people know. We know. We're going. Just Thursday, just another Thursday. But no, if you're fucking with Rick Rubin, that doesn't happen. You can't just go from casually recording in bedrooms across New York City to then very specifically going to Rick Rubin's studio to finish said same works of music. Like, that is such a weird, like, you went from point A to point fucking Z real quick, dogs. And you 5, maybe you're talented. I listened to some of their music and it's fine. Like, it's not bad. Like, both the singers have great vocal range, and then you have the other 3 around them who are kind of handling like the production and like the overall like ambiance of Laundry Day. But it's so fucking weirdly manufactured in a lot of ways. Like, that's just how it feels, like, from across the board. And they're not shy about it either, because they're saying, we are big fans of Brockhampton, we are big fans of Tyler, the Creator. That is like the weirdest, like, and Brockhampton and Tyler, the Creator's names are being pushed in these fuckers' names on all these headlines. There's a fucking Complex article. Where's this bitch? Yeah, Pigeons and Planes coming through. Meet Laundry, the unconventional New York band inspired by Brockhampton and Tyler, the Creator. That's great. What the fuck, though? He even goes off and says, I've been trying to find these kids' parents all morning, and I can't. One of them has been on Broadway for years or something, and that tells me that the family has money. What he's referring to right there is actually the main singer. His name's Sawyer Nunes. And, yeah, this fucker had a few stints in Broadway from 2013. He was in Matilda, Finding Neverland. Getting the band back together. That was last year. That was within the past year. So, Sawyer, you have a very baby face. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. That is the same kid, but just slightly older. But his face is, I don't know. Fuck it.
What is time? A deceptively simple question, yet it is the key to understanding relativity.
You can also look up just Sawyer Nunes, and that kid is always going to be attached to the Finding Neverland fucking soundtrack. So, you know, he's on SoundCloud and all that bullshit as, you know, that. But really, then you start jumping into their music. They have an album out. It's called Homesick. And, you know, I listened to some of it. It's fine. Like, it really is. It sounds great. But it's just so weird when you have, like, Complex doing articles. You have fucking New York Magazine owned fucking websites doing articles about these guys. And it's not even like you can't track it all down. Like, we just saw, you know, they're using real names. And they're standing out there and they're just going for it. But when you're saying that you fucking have Rick Rubin working on your album, this isn't all by happenstance. This isn't just random shit. And then you start diving in deeper, and then it gets weird. It gets kind of really weird. So this song is called Cha, and it is literally like take the formula of any Brockhampton early video and just apply it. Like, they took the fucking same formula, man. Like, it's literally the same shit. Like, they're not shy about it. I feel the boys with the boys and the girls with the girls. This guy is a lyrical genius. Holy shit. And it's like, this shot's dope. What they do right here is very cool. It's just, again, man, it's just weird. It's just weird that you're so unapologetically being like, yeah, we kind of ripped them off and then just did it, but with us. Like, I don't know. It's so fucking weird, and it just screams like a record label is coming through. But I'm telling you guys, it goes full circle, and it gets really fucking weird. And that's what prompted me to really make this video. So there's Mr. Broadway Boy. Like, this whole idea of, like, them all running around like this, like, therapy session, and they're each going in and out of, like, the chair to have, like, a conversation. That's such a cool idea, like, as a concept. That's dope. It's just, what the fuck, man? Everything else around it. And what's funny is when you watch the music videos, you really don't know what the other three people do, because just two of them are vocalists. But then when you watch, like, them live and them doing concerts, like, they all play instruments and all kind of blend into making this whole, you know, show happen. So they all do stuff. It's just in the music videos, it's kind of like, what is the two homeboys on the side and the guy with the long hair doing? Like, I want to know. None of this music is bad, so it's like, why did you have to, like, thrive so hard off of something that's already kind of going on? And then if you really want to add to some conspiracy shit, one of their videos ends with a special thanks to Malia Obama, so that's gonna get the fucking internet on fire, dog, and you know it is. Like, I would argue at this point they're already signed and they already have people believing in them and, like, funding them, and they can definitely afford a better camera, but they're still doing the, like, typical, like, DSLR only, like, vibe that Brockhampton did as well. So it's like, bros, y'all are way too on the nose with a lot of this shit, I feel like, and I I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, I wonder how Brockhampton feels. They even have a fucking documentary that's talk about Together Forever, and it's just like it's so fucking corny sometimes, man. When I'm trying to put this all together, and I'm telling you this, it sounds manufactured. It sounds like I'm making it up, and maybe I am. No, because the fucking internet can back it up. But then, boys, I look into it. They're on tour this August. That's wonderful. That's fantastic. And then I even look at like the logo, and even just like the vibe, and like the cover art. And the fucking, just everything is so, it looks like Romil and like everybody else who's handling like the overall like behind the scenes of Brockhampton just had their hands all over this. Am I crazy? Perhaps. But then there's a little thing down here and it says credits. You just click on that bitch, takes you right in here. And it shows you the credits for every single song on this newest album. So at first I'm like going through it. I'm like, okay, so it says written by Laundry Day, produced by Laundry Day. Awesome. And then you start going in. We're going to look something else up in a second, but, you're going through. All's looking good. And then all of a fucking sudden, I'm going, and then you start seeing like the recorded in bedrooms all over New York City, recorded in bedrooms over New York City, recorded in Shangri-La Studios with Rick Rubin, and in bedrooms all over New York City. Like, pick one. You can't have one or the other. That doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But you start scrolling, you start going, you get, and then you get to here, and then you get to I feel good. It says written by Laundry Day, produced by Laundry Day, and Romil Hamnani. Romil. You mean the guy who I just said has a lot to do with fucking Brockhampton's overall vibe, the sound for sure. Like this guy worked on your album. This guy, this one. Oh, okay. So the very band that you're like praising and like name dropping in all the interviews and headlines and just like very intrinsically tying to what you are. And I'm talking to you, Laundry Day. They have a hand in the very sounds and existence that you have, but it's not on like you might as well just have a featuring Brockhampton song. Like, are these the members of Brockhampton that didn't make it? Are these the ones on those forums that just didn't go around? Or maybe Brockhampton had like a American Idol type audition session where they just went around the United States and were just like, we are going to find the most Brockhampton-ass motherfuckers, and then we're going to put them together into a subgroup who will never be more popular in Brockhampton because it's all manufactured. Next Camp Flognaw, guaranteed Laundry Day is playing, but they're going to be just below Brockhampton on the billing order. Like, just to make sure that people know that Brockhampton is, like, the real one. Brockhampton's the authentic. But Romil probably will be, on both stages, just to tie it all together. And, I'll play some of this documentary, but, like, I was watching the documentary. I got about 10 minutes in, and then I kind of checked out. But I watched the documentary, and I was sold. And I even went through their whole fucking, like, live set days, and I was sold. Like, this is a year ago. Like, that's dope. And none of the music is bad. Again, I'm not hating on the music. It's fine. It just sounds like that same camp. And the only reason why you're able to, like, as a critic or as someone who is, like critiquing, I guess, or just commenting on this, if, like, I'm showing this to somebody and I already know that they're shoving Brockhampton and Tyler, the Creator's aesthetic and name in their names before you even hear it, like, people are going to introduce it and be like, oh, we love Brockhampton, let's listen to Laundry Day. And then it's just, you're going to find that, and then that's what it is. But apparently it existed for a whole year prior. They did tours. I mean, even like the tour, or like the show that they played, it sounded like it was at a nice fucking venue. And like that was like, coincidentally, that was their first video, was like a PSA for them playing a show.
Hi, we're Laundry Day. So I'm sure you guys have heard of
And like this shirt looks like that looks authentic. And then you go through and it's like, oh, they're playing at a place called Rockwood. There's a whole bunch of, you know, cool ass songs being played live. Then there's a little documentary. And then, you know, there's a thing about bagels, which is apparently a song, I would assume. I'm gonna cut off my head. Yep. So they had a song named Bagels. That's dope. Like, all this looks like shit that could exist. And then at one point, it just shifts more into, like, Brockhampton aesthetic. They even, like, with the thumbnail on this song called Harvard that we were listening to, it's, like, just the lettering. And then, you know, you go to fucking Red Roses, it's just the lettering. It's just all very weird. And then when you tie it with a fucking bow, and then you have Ramil working on the damn album with Rick Rubin. And, you know, their special thanks section, this one doesn't include Malia. But, you know, if anyone knows who any of these other people are, there's Rick Rubin right there. Ramil's right here. I don't, you know, these people, one of these people could be Usher, and I just have no idea. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised at this point because that's where we're at. Although there's a guy named Lauderdale, and, you know, if his name is Lauderdale, I would say he probably has a lot more to do with Laundry Day than we are putting out there. But yeah, this is just a weird thing. This is just proving further that the whole industry plant thing is just ridiculous. But it seems like the best way to move between Lil Nas X kind of just looking at people and making all those industry plant jokes on Twitter. It seems like if you do just get really meta with it and really do just kind of beat the punches before anybody else has a chance to say it. So like the fact that they're already associating Brockhampton themselves and then having member of Brockhampton on the back end, like actually working on the music, but you're not leading with that. But when you associate Brockhampton with Laundry Day, then anybody who would have just heard Laundry Day, because this industry is pushing it now, clearly, because there's fucking articles on Complex, New York Times, Post, or whatever, like, this is something that the record label is pushing, and they're going on tour. There's a fucking, of course, and I wanted to also shout out, the only thing on their shop is a vinyl. A vinyl. Of course, because what else is the most hipster fucking shit in the world? Like, they probably could add socks and, like, I don't know, their own quinoa seeds, and I would believe all three are definitely a part of the Laundry Day merch drop. I feel like if you're able to associate the biggest thing that people are going to hate on them for, like if I heard this and I'd be like, this is literally Brockhampton, but they had never associated Laundry Day with Brockhampton, that would be a negative. But because they're able to say, oh, these guys are just like Brockhampton, then they already said the punchline before you did, so it's not original and it's not a negative. They're already saying that they love them, so it's like, okay, we'll give them a pass. Let's just love them and add them to the group. Like, what the fuck? So, Laundry Day. If you've listened to the album is called Homesick. It's called Homesick because they went to Rick Rubin's place and they missed New York. They weren't used to not recording in a bedroom all over the city. And that's why they are homesick. I figured it out.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool.
You're welcome. But yeah, if you haven't heard Laundry Day, if you are a fan of fucking Homesick, let me know in the comment section below. If I'm being crazy, let me know. I know I'm crazy, but there's some weird shit going on, and I just had to kind of throw it all out there just in case. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below. What did you think of just Homesick, Laundry Day, this whole weird shit? Yeah, just let me know, because I don't know what to make of it, but there's a lot of weird shit. And I had to weird it out with y'all because, yeah, I don't like being alone. Follow me on Twitter at YoGarrett, YoGRTT. Thank you so much. Instagram as well. Now Notation on those two platforms as well. Take care of yourselves, and that is all, folks.